Hoi hoi.
Hi.
Okay. First question about this thing. Is it a mouse control?
It's a novel, so
Keyboard?
yeah, you use the mouse.
Alright. Okay, well, let's see. I gotta get probably a new scene for this. Window capture, I imagine. Probably be sufficient. And there it is. But you can't cover Kirby. There we go. House in Hellworld. Let's see. Let me see if I can... spell
Yeah,
correctly.
I used the settings that Rempy suggested when I created it. Since it was my first visual novel, I figured I'd just use the standards.
Visual novel sisters. That's not going to work. I need a game name, a game title for this thing for Twitch.
Just spook. Well, it's a Spooktober game, visual novel game jam submission.
Well, Spook Tower.
Spooktober.
Yeah.
It's doing presets.
Yeah.
I just do it under various demos. Then that's probably your best bet. Most people I see do that.
Okay. There we go. That'll work.
Yeah, I don't stream, so I don't know how Twitch likes to do things when you're picking a game. They'll even let you just punch in a title on your own.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Okay, though. I just did 9 hours of Dead by Daylight for some reason or another. So let's take a little break with a nice VN. Let's take a look at our preferences. Our display is correct as it is. Text speed, musical volume, voice volume. We'll leave those as is. I can. I imagine there's a pause.
Well, there's no
menu.
voices. It's not a voice game, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. I'm gonna turn the music and sound down slightly, just in case. And let's start. 7 days. No, I wasn't going to die in 7 days. I need to move the window up a smidge. There we go. I can see the bottom menu now. Dying in 7 days would be easy. 7 days is how long I had left to scrounge up enough cash to avoid being evicted. 7 days, very different than 7 minutes. I have nowhere to go. If I don't get the cash in 7 days, I was going to be thrown out into the streets. Honestly, I wish some ghost had called me to let me know she was going to come out of my TV and kill me instead. Boy, there's a thought. I'd rather deal with her than my landlord. And on the subject of ghosts, that happens to be at the heart of my one hope. There's been rumors that there's this house that's hiding some kind of treasure, but it's guarded by some kind of ghost. Now, normally I wouldn't pay attention to crap like that, but unlike other urban legends, this one gets real specific. Like, as in, I've got actual address specific, and the people who supposedly checked it out and vanished really are missing persons. After work tonight, I'm going in to see if I can find anything. Didn't sleep too well last night. All I could think about was how I'd survive without any place to call home. Today is painstakingly slow. There are no customers. There's nothing to do. Daydream or clean the store. Go with the cleaning. I'm already clean. I've got nothing else to do. I resort the shelves and get dust areas I usually skip. And in my shift, I'm curious if my manager's going to say anything, but he never leaves the office. It's pretty clear nothing I do matters. Work day's done. Time to visit the house. 113. Okay. There's a factory that made sweets, cookies, and crackers on Ashland Street, but it's been closed for ages. You'd think if any place would be used to stash some loot, it'd be there, but my destination is a few blocks north. So I'm going to take this quick save, because why not? Hike past empty lots filled with dead trees along a road in serious need of repair until I reach a suburban neighborhood. I double-checked my directions. I thought haunted houses were supposed to be in nearly deserted areas, but the other homes here are nicely maintained and landscaped. As far as I know, it's the right place, but this doesn't look like the kind of locale for a ghost. I was expecting urban exploration, not a break and enter. The house in question doesn't even look abandoned. There's no graffiti, no broken windows, no for sale sign. While the lawn won't win any awards, it's not terrible. God, what am I doing? What indeed? Guess we'll find out. The only thing that's halfway unusual are the old, thick curtains preventing anyone from looking in or out on every window.
So you must have downloaded the slightly earlier version because I fixed that typo just the other day.
Oh, in our out. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and most people missed it. I missed it.
I did catch.
The judges missed it. But...
I did catch another one a couple sentences ago where I think it says "of" and where it means to say "if."
I might have missed that one.
I thought you were going to say you'd fix the fact that I can't see any curtains. Well, almost every window.
You'll see why when you get on the inside.
Alright. There's one on the second floor that's open somewhat. As I'm looking up, I see a pale face staring dead back at me. Well, there we go then. Before I could change my mind about the whole thing, I blink and it's gone. Could have just easily been my imagination.
Like, some of the elements were cut due to scope creep. I wanted to make sure I could get this thing done in time.
Right.
That we only had 30 days. And I was solo.
I mean, 30 days to get a game done of any sort is pretty good. If I weren't so broke and desperate, I'd turn around and go home. I've already spent the bus fare to get here. Might as well at least knock and see if anyone does live there. So I up the stairs to the porch. The front door quietly opens, revealing an entryway shrouded in darkness. Hello? There's no response. I try again a little louder, but again, nothing. I underground, this is a house in Hellworld, which is a game made by Smik, aka grumpyoldmilk. I absolutely should walk away, but I really can't afford to, and against all better judgment, I step inside. Boy, how many times? As I step through the doorway, I can't help but think about horror movies where the stupid protagonist wanders into some place they clearly shouldn't, and then they have the nerve to look surprised when the door slams shut and traps them. I jump as the door slams shut. Welp. Because I am an idiot. I appreciate your protagonist's ability to be self-aware. The interior of the house is a lot rougher looking than it was on the outside. In the dim light, I could still see the inky speckled spread of black molds and patchy stains. The air has a strange, damp heaviness to it. Something more than the earthy smell of rot and the stench of decay. The shades that block the view of the neighborhood are very different on the inside. There's some kind of tarry substance holding them in place. Everything is silent. I can see a stairwell going up, but the stairs also twist around down towards the basement. I could also continue deeper on this floor. I can see a doorway, but it's too dark to see anything beyond it. Aha! I've got options. Check the door, the shade, up the stairs, to the kitchen, down the stairs. Huh. Whatever the black stuff is, it twitches and pulsates slightly when I get a closer look. Grab the handle, twist and pull with all my might, but it doesn't give in the slightest. The thought of being trapped here makes my stomach drop, but maybe I can find a tool or something to bash my way out later. I go into the kitchen. Kitchen reeks of fetid water and decay. Black mold is everywhere, and brittle tile cracks underfoot. Oh boy. Check the sink. It's filled with that brackish black ichor crap. And it smells absolutely horrible, like if you took a bunch of dead rats, stuck them in a blender with water, and then let it fester for a week. Looped around the faucet is the drawstring to a small bag. I pull it out, although the smell almost makes me gag. Curious to take a look inside, see something golden flicker in the light of my phone. I'm glad I brought gloves, so I didn't have to touch the stuff. I give the bag a little shake, and a couple coins fall into the palm of my other gloved hand. Is that gold? Like real gold? I've never handled real gold before, but the coins are really heavy for their size, and even stained with ichor, I can see some intricate designs. I clean some off with a gloved finger. It's certainly shiny. I tried to bend it. It gives, so I stop. Dense, heavy, shiny. I'm no expert, but I really do think it's gold. 2 gold coins. Soft enough to bend. No idea how many carats, but it's valuable, and my heart begins to pound with excitement. The treasure's real. Oh my god, it's real. Gotta be more around. I could make rent. I could make rent and maybe even put a dent in my debts. My thoughts are interrupted by a splash. Welp! This has got to be some kind of trick or something. It's not something that happens in a nice neighborhood without someone calling the cops. Door was unlocked. Surely someone would have found this before me if it were real. Then again, this is the kind of thing you'd see on the news for sure, even if it was fake. I check my phone. No service. A long black hand stretches out from the ichor-filled sink. With a wet slap, the hand slams itself into the filthy counter, and with a sickening set of pops, an arm follows, long and twisted. No, not now. I'm so close to the treasure. Maybe I can hide for a minute before it sees me? As I consider this, missing a W, with a splash, the rest of the creature...
Yeah, this is an earlier version. I fixed that one in the later one.
Okay.
I just did it yesterday, though.
Bursts from the sink, spraying blood from the source. Hey, you doing, Blastinus? Then it begins to wail. Ew. Nope, fuck, nope. Can't find treasure dead. Run as fast as my legs can go and burst from the house. There ain't anything chasing me, that doesn't stop me from running all the way back to the bus stop. 2 gold coins. I have no idea how much they're worth, but a check online says maybe anywhere from $800 to $1,000. So you got cell service back. Which is great, except I can't exactly wait around for a buyer. I'll have to pawn them, so probably best I can expect is $500. That might be enough to get me an extension on the eviction, but I'll still have nothing for next month. I'll have to brave the house again tomorrow. I barely sleep. Take a save. I spend the night alternating between trying to come up with a logical explanation for what happened last night and worrying about what I'll have to face next. The thing is, there's no logical explanation, is there? If it was real, why hasn't anyone reported it, other than stuff I hear online, I mean? You'd think the neighbors might have said something by now. At the very least, reported random people going into the house and in some instances never coming out? Well, that's a bold thought. Ugh. I don't have time to think too much about it right now. I gotta get to work. There's gotta be some other way to raise the cash, right? Except no, not in the time I've got left. The only way I can think of to make fast cash would be to rob someone or break into something, and I won't do that. Standards. I'm poor, but I have my principles, and I'm not going to ruin someone else to survive. Middle-aged woman enters the store. She scans shelves with the same kind of scrutiny some ancient high priest would use to pick a victim for sacrifice, and I know it's going to be another one of those days. Finally, she clears a shelf of its toilet paper and comes to me to cash out. What is this, COVID? Store policy, on the other hand, forbids saying... Well, okay. selling any more than 2 packages of toilet paper per customer. People have been panic buying thanks to a certain news outlet which has been declaring that the end times are near. Make your choice which one that is. Now, considering I'm going to be trying to plunder a haunted house tonight based on the rumor of treasure, I really shouldn't judge too harshly. Oh, also, I just realized. Chat. I'm just going to go ahead and nick chat rather than try to move the things around enough to make it fit. So no chat on screen for this game, unfortunately. Alright, maybe we are approaching end times. The dead have been rising from the graves, and the moon will turn to blood. Dogs and cats will live together amongst mass hysteria. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Can't not do it, you know? There's your new killer for Dead by Daylight. Gozer the Gozerian. Let's go.
That's a little... Stay Puft Marshmallow would be a little much to deal with.
Let's see. I don't care. They're not the ones working retail while facing eviction. And besides, all the toilet paper in the world, it's not going to protect you from a ghost. Logical. I can tell she knows about store policy by the intense stare she's giving me, just waiting for me to say something. Let's see. Based on what the character has already said, I wouldn't think it's logical for him to bother. I don't say anything and just ring her through. Satisfied, she leaves with her purchase. Just before I leave at the end of my shift, the manager pulls me aside and asks what happened to all her toilet paper, then chews me out for not following store policy. I try to defend myself, saying that she made a fuss, but I still get written up about the incident. Welp. Obviously, because it's not enough, I'm facing eviction, but sure, less threaten to cut short what little pay I'd make at the end of the week, too. Workday's done. Time to visit the house. Just like last time, the door opens to greet me. Right. While there's no reason to check the door or the shade, let's check the kitchen again. Uh-huh. Freezer still seems to be intact. Hello. There's a frozen severed head inside. This cannot be real, but I'm not going to touch it to check. Next to that is a small bag. Takes a sharp tug to pull it out. Okay, we're not going to go right next to the head, though. Rose on the floor of the freezer. I'm rewarded with a jingling sound. Beat inside, see a glint of silver in the light. Silver dollars? Not a huge treasure, but if they're genuine, they could be worth something. Thoughts are interrupted by a crunching sound. Sit backwards, the head shudders, yanking itself free from its icy... Wow, okay. Staring fascination at the horror. This isn't possible. Heart starts to pound in my chest. Fuck. Screaming using the head in rage, myself in terror. The head doesn't have to try to control its bowels, though. We haste to retreat to the entryway and find the door open. As I take off down the street, I glance behind me. Nothing is following me. Not taking any chances. I keep running until I reach the safety of the bus stop. I don't check the bag until I'm safely at home. They're silver dollars, all right. I don't know how much they're worth, but I'm sure it's not enough to cover rent. Well, we're going to have to go up and down the stairs next time, because that fridge is probably not a good idea. I don't know what time I finally drifted off. It was late, and getting up in time for work felt like coming back from the dead. Subtle. Speaking of, I have no reasonable explanation for the house other than it is haunted. Well, yeah, severed heads don't typically move. Every skeptical fiber in my being has given up. Something well outside my understanding of reality dwells within that house. And I'm going to have to face it again tonight. Because I just don't learn my lesson. Took a look in the mirror and instantly regretted it. I look like hell. Can't go on like this. Won't go on like this. My choices are die in the house or die in the streets. Well, there's some choices.
Some of the text repeats more than I would have liked it, but again, I did not have time to polish.
Mm-hmm. I mean, facing a deadline.
Yeah, and Norton passed. Like, when I had gotten a next to final working version, Norton had a massive heart attack and he passed, and that pretty much will ended any more development I was going to do.
Yeah. Yes, Jeff, unintentional marathon. I've been going for 9 hours. I didn't think I would be. I didn't think I would stream this afternoon, let alone not stop streaming since I started. So here we are. Let's see. The manager's listening to the news loudly in his office, and it's a slow day, but not dead. No. Let's do a save. When it's dead, he gets so bored he tends to watch me through the security cameras instead, then comes out to make busy work for me because heaven forbid I just stand around because there's full caps nothing to do. I could listen in if I wanted to. Oh, we're listening to the story about paranormal investigations. I guess I'm not the only one investigating supernatural rumors. Most of what I'm hearing are conspiracy theories about how it's actually drugs or woke culture or the government, although none of their explanations make much sense. Truth. Reports of mutilated corpses, names I recognize that have gone missing, and descriptions of what people have claimed to encounter, on the other hand, are hitting a little too close to home for me. Workday's done. Time to visit the house. Time to die. Honestly, though, I am going to check the fridge. Door of the fridge sticks and I have to give a sharp tug to open it. Oh my god. Corpse is twisted and broken, smell of death, but it's not very strong, which means she's not been dead too long. No, this can't be real, right? Someone was definitely found in an unlocked house. That's a big assumption. Next door is a small bag. I poke it with my foot and hear it jingle. It seems like it's full of coins, judging by how it feels against the toe of my shoe and the sound it makes. I usually pull the string, keeping it closed, see a glint of silver reflected by the light of my phone. As I investigate further, I give the corpse an apologetic look. I'm sorry that you're dead, but you're dead and I'm broke. I have a feeling we're going to be running again. There's a variety of coins in here, silver dollars, some foreign, but all shining invitingly in the dark. This is wrong. What else can I do? I need it for rent. I take the bag, putting it in my jacket. Uh-huh. There's a dull pop and cracking sound as the head begins to shudder and turn towards me, its neck stretching. Hi. As I stand there in shock, its jaw begins to open, revealing jagged teeth and pinpricks of white grow in those empty black eyes. It begins to scream, and as it does so, a red haze billows from its eyes. White blood, or wild blood, begins to seep along the back of its tomb. Fuck! I bolt backwards, miss the doorway, and slam into a wall. Dead. Rebounding, I managed to scramble back to the entryway and out the door, my vision blurred somewhat from panic and the pain of my bleeding nose. Don't hear anything chasing me that doesn't stop me from running all the way back to the bus stop, jiggling with my guilty find. Do my best to put on a calm face when I climb aboard the bus, but nobody notices me. I don't check the bag till I'm safe at home. I'm no coin expert, but I guess it's worth $500 or so. It'll help, but it's nowhere near enough. Well, realistically, you're already over $1,000. I'll have to brave the house again tomorrow. As you do. I posted some of my experiences online. The resulting flame war got me banned from the community. Well. Half the people were decrying me as a liar, contributing to misinformation and superstition, while the other half wanted to know more and shared similar experiences. I did learn a bit from the resulting mess. There's a conspiracy that government is trying to suppress discussion of the supernatural, and that's why nobody's talking about it. The irony is that even if the government's not suppressing, the moderators are so either way, there's a grain of truth there. Some people have messaged me urging me not to go back. That threat is real, and whatever presence is in that house is trying to warn me away, but pretty soon it will get serious and I could disappear. Well, if I don't get more cash, my online presence is going to disappear anyway. I've decided I want out of this life. Oh boy. Find the treasure or die trying, but either way, I want this to be over and I don't care how anymore. Nothing out of the ordinary happens on my shift, but when it's time for my break, I realize I forgot to make lunch. Even though the price of lunch is just a drop in the bucket compared to making rent, knowing I've had to spend more money I don't have just sours my meal. Workday is done. Time to visit the house. Okay. We've done everything except go up or down the stairs, so we're going up first. Check the closet and check under the bed. This is going to go great. Not exactly thrilled about the idea of getting my hands needing some dirty, decaying carpeting to look under a rotting bed, but it's less work and probably less disgusting than trying to cut open the mattress or pulling up floorboards. To say nothing for whatever happened in the kitchen. Shine my light around and see an old wooden box. Pull it out the side.
Yeah, originally there was more reflection on previous events. I had to cut it out.
Mm.
I had put on some flags that would help track it, but I needed to get it done in the time limit.
Yeah. I pull it out and look inside to find a collection of sundry shinies. Some coins and a few pieces of jewelry. I'm no expert, but the coins look genuine. They feel heavy, and while they're dirty, the detailing is excellent. I'm much less sure about the jewelry. Could be well-crafted fakes, or they could be worth a good amount. I've got no way of telling, so I just dump the contents into my jacket pocket. As I stand there thinking about where to check next, I notice the shadows growing around the bed. Oh, look! I hear the scraping sound, something heavy and sharp digging into the rotting wood. Before I see the massive white-clawed hand emerge from the darkness under the frame. Ah! Oh! Good to see you, Satan! The claw pulls out massive creatures, somehow manages to squeeze out through the narrow space. Sort of like watching a cat squeeze under a fence, like it's somehow more liquid than solid. When a cat does it, there's less popping and cracking, though. Fact. Even though my heart's racing and all common sense is screaming at me to run at the same time, it's incredibly fascinating. It's just so impossible, and yet here it is, happening before my eyes. I'm going to die. And then it turns and glares at me. Fuck no. Pew! I turn charge over the stairs, hopping over the railing and out the door, which is thankfully open. I run down the street towards the bus stop. I don't think the creature followed me, but I don't pause until I'm safe under the streetlights. I don't really feel the pain in my ankles until the adrenaline starts to wear off, and I realize the landing was a bit rougher than I thought. Yeah, it takes exhaustion for 40 seconds. The next morning, I take my find to a pawn shop, and I'm able to get a little over $350 for it. I really wish I could have taken it to something more reputable, but I need this money fast, and it's not enough for rent. I'm out of options. I gotta go back tomorrow. 2 days left. Oh. If I cash in what I've collected, maybe I can get an extension. Yes. The thing is, just getting an extension is just delaying the inevitable. So you delay the inevitable! Come on! Once I find the bulk of the loot, and soon I'm probably going to get myself killed just searching the house. I'm going to have to go into the basement. It'd be nice to go during the day if I can't afford the time off, and it's not like my manager's going to say, "Oh sure, you need the time to explore a haunted house." So I don't want out of this life. Find treasure, die trying. I don't care how anymore. Okay.
Yeah, that one repeats. Wait, that was supposed to... I've got some files on... Your character has hidden attributes, and that one triggers a little too early.
Ah.
But again, I didn't have time.
Time. What is time? An illusion.
Well, also, and again, the cat died, so I just stopped caring.
Yeah. Some teens are loitering around the store. I'm pretty sure they're shoplifting. Get the manager. Knock on the door, explain the situation. Manager goes out and stands extremely close to the kids without saying anything, just staring at them the entire time. They know they're busted and they leave. He tells me he shouldn't have to do that and scolds me that dealing with shoplifters is part of my job and won't look good on my evaluation if it happens again. Boy, this guy's a dick, isn't he? Whatever. Right. We will leave the closet alone for the time being. It's even darker in the basement, and my light makes a poor job of giving me any kind of vision. The air is cold and foreboding, and the smell of decay gets stronger as I reach the bottom. Each step sticks to the floor. Also, it smells of black licorice, which seems oddly out of place. It's really interesting seeing some of the words that are spelled differently because you're from Canada.
Mm.
You know, licorice is one.
Color. There's a few other
color.
words.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that have the U in them. I feel like your spelling of jewelry is probably also one of those, I'm guessing.
Probably. I have my word processor working
Yeah, because the way
English.
I'm used to spelling it is Jewelry, not with 2 L's and the additional E. So if that's a regional difference, I don't know.
Canadian.
Yeah, there were a couple of others.
Let me check a look.
Yeah, typically if a word is tripping me up, it's not necessarily because of spelling, but because of the way that I'm used to seeing it.
Take a look here. Get my.
Seems oddly out of place. Oh, you again. A single bare bulb feebly attempts to light the morbid scene before me. What appears to be a human head filling a tub of putrid-smelling black liquid. Next, the tub is a small table which sits some instruments of some sort and a sack of something. Hey, BPCL. Hey, long time no see. A tribute stream from Matthew Perry. Oh, dear.
Yeah, he just passed.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He drowned, apparently.
What?
I don't know the details. I just saw his Twitter post.
Oh, man. So he sometime since I've been streaming, I'm guessing, since I've been streaming all day. Well, that's sad. Damn. Well, thanks, BPC.
Drowning in a hot tub.
Drowning in a hot... He must have...
Yeah.
He must have had some something in his system.
Yeah.
Something. I know he had some substance problems.
Please do not believe there was foul play.
It's going to be like Bob Saget, where it's just like something either it's a drug problem or just something gave out.
Yeah.
Wow. Walls, floor, and ceiling are speckled with what I presume to be mold. There's another one because we don't spell mold with a U in these states. And there's odor. The putrid odor in the air has a faint scent of black licorice. Not exactly complimentary, although it is strange. Well, we're checking the sack first. Heavy canvas bag tied tightly at one end with twine. Jingles as I fight with the knot to open it up. I hear bubbling to my left. The woman's severed head is ridden out of the ichor. Blood fills her eyes, begins to gurgle. I shake my head. Oh, that's right. Saget was complications from a head injury.
Oh,
I'm done. Get it.
Yeah, head injuries can just take you out.
The ghost? Oh my gosh. Dude, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you scared? I'm doing my best here. What? I stared at her blankly for a few moments. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Let me tell you about the week I've been having. And now we're here. That's been my week. Yuri. What the hell? I can't skate together the cash. I'm going to be homeless. She has an ice cream. My job doesn't pay me a living wage. I've not been able to get anything better. Also, it's slowly killing your mind and soul. I've been watching. You've been spying on me? You repeatedly came into my house and took stuff. Sorry. I've been going as long as I can, but everything's catching up to me. I need to find whatever treasure, if there is any, is hidden his way. If there is... Blah. I need to find whatever treasure, if there is any, is hidden away here. You can lose that second is, by the way. Yuri, that's the ghost, gazes at me thoughtfully with all three eyes. She invited me to the kitchen, a normal kitchen, for ice cream while we chatted. All this just to make rent. Yeah. For like a month before you'd have to do this all over again. Yeah. She regards me sadly, her brow furrowing and closing all but her third eye. Did you want to live with me instead? I gape at her. I'm sorry, what? Move in with me. Stop dealing with your landlord. Stop worrying about rent. Move in with a ghost. You might as well. You've been here every night. Point. She smiles. Well, there's a lot of things here. All right, what am I gonna do for food? Don't you like ice cream? I do, but I have other kinds of food. There's a cake in the fridge, and there's licorice and marzipan. You have any actual food? Stares at me for a few moments. I guess you're just making room for food. Is milk food? It's a start. I used it on Monster cereal. How are you not diabetic? I'm not alive. Good point. I mean, fair. Why do you call me dude? I think mortal is kind of cliche. Good point. Even if they're a woman? If you're mortal, you're a dude, at least to me. Other fairies use other terms. Fairies, huh? Did you die? I didn't. But you're a ghost. A fairy spirit. But you're not alive? Right. If you're not alive, but you're not dead, what are you? I'm Batman. A fairy spirit. You could say I'm unborn if you want to get technical. I decide that's a conversation for another time. Why do you want me to quit my job? Besides the fact that it's slowly killing you? Sure. It eats in your time and stresses you out dealing with jerks when you could be doing stuff. Like? Don't you have any dreams you could be chasing? No, they're dead. Don't talk like that. Are my dreams important? Dreams are crazy important to us fairies. What am I going to do for money in the meantime? Money's not important. It kind of is to us humans. It totally isn't. Money only has value because humanity gives it value. Accurate. Literally nobody and nothing else cares. Okay, how am I going to pay for food? Look, you need money, let me know. Got the stuff just lying around, doesn't do me much good. Except for buying ice cream, of course. Oh, cute. Kind of want to ask her more about that, but I have a feeling that's a conversation for another time. Okay, last question. Why? Why do you want me to move in? What would you get out of it? Maybe I like you. If that was the case, you would have just asked me earlier. She smirks. Fine, so despite all my power, I guess this is one thing I can't do. Scare me anymore, smart aleck. I can't own property. I'm not mortal, which means I don't have paperwork. I used to haunt this abandoned place on Springbank Drive, but it was torn down. Scaring people away doesn't work if they just bulldoze the place, and it's not like I can buy it off them. Impersonating a human only goes so far, and it falls apart as soon as people want crazy stuff like credit history. Ah, society. Some unseelie fae have tried just killing people, but that just gets the place firebombed instead. Truth. Any idea how hard it is to get property for haunting purposes? I mean, seriously. No, but how did you get this place? Haunted. Sure. Haunted real estate agency. Why not?
That's why it's anti-horror.
Everything's in their name with paperwork nice and human legal. There's haunted real estate agencies. Do you pay them money? Sometimes they rarely ask for it. It's more favors and contractual obligations. If I have a human of my own, though, you can own the deed. Instead, I won't need the agency anymore. With a legitimate living person to officially own the place, nobody will bulldoze my home from out from under me again. The agency will be okay with you getting out of your contract like that. I think that's encouraged. Something to do with improving human-fairy relations? So why me? I can't scare you anymore. It could be that you're really special, but as far as I can tell, you're in such a dark place that I think you'll die if you don't. If you were just greedy, you'd still be scared of me. Yep, A Woods. 9 hours and counting. Almost 10. My longest ever stream. If you were just thrill-seeking, you'd still be scared of me. You were ready to just give up and die. I've never experienced life, and you were just going to throw it away. No fairy would just leave you like that. Not even the unseelie, and they sure as heck kill people, but only if they still want to live. They'd only kill people who didn't want to die? Let's see if fairies only kill people they've got a beef with. They like their bad reputation. But they're not heartless, dude. Going out screaming is merciful compared to death by sorrow. Did you fix the R in the compared there? Because there's an R missing.
Oh, bloody hell, I didn't even notice that one. No one else caught it yet. You're the first one to catch that one.
Yeah, English degree, writer. I'm gonna catch all of these. The kind of hurt I see in you now is the kind of thing you would have that would have utterly destroyed a fairy. But because you're mortal, your body is keeping you going even though you don't want to. I am not gonna stand by and let you get worse. I won't force you to stay, but I'm offering and ask you to accept it for your own sake. Give her an answer. So I had to make a decision. I could live in a dark, cold Hellworld, or I could move in with a ghost. There you go. That's the right way. Not really much of a choice. Alright, I guess I could use all the ichor and creepiness and... What? No, you'd be living in the physical space of the house. I'm not using it much. The spooky version is something I created to scare the crap out of people. You were spirited away the moment you came through the front door. We really were just going to share the kitchen. I need some place for my ice cream. The physical space? Yuri shows me around. The house, the real house, is mostly empty and perfectly ordinary. I think I recognize this concept. Plenty of room for me. She really was just using the kitchen. I noticed a laptop during the tour. Is that yours? Oh yeah, I'll set you up with a Wi-Fi password once you're settled. That's adorable. You have internet? Doesn't everybody? Just because I'm a fairy ghost, you think I don't need internet access? Everyone does. True. How else was I going to start up rumors that this place had treasure? And that is how I came to live in a house in Hellworld. Well, that was pretty cute.
Yeah, there's actually some RNG involved. The daytime events are randomized, and the basement has randomized. There's 2 different events that can occur in the basement that are randomized as well.
Okay.
And the character, like the character had better reaction. Better react. Like there's no CGs or anything like that. It's just this is where I ran out of juice.
Okay.
There were more options and there were more features. The character does have attributes, and when they start actually identifying the smell of licorice is when they're starting to get used to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And their fear is they have a hidden fear defense stat. And every scare, and the original concept, there were a lot more scares you could run into, and I just ran out of time. So I had to keep it down to just the bare minimum possible, I think 7 major scares. The originally were minor ones that would increase your character's fear, and cause them to leave. And again, the problem was complications on getting it done in time and not making it too complicated. I wouldn't be able to get it finished. I think it was like a weekend, and I realized that if I just had to get just the major events done, or it wasn't going to be done in time, since I was working alone.
Gotcha. One other thing to spelling-wise to note that I need you to make note of. Sykes' name, that A should be an E, and there is 1 L.
Did I do that again? God
yes.
Damn it! Oh.
Yep.
I never spell his name right. I always get that messed up.
Well, in fairness, a lot of people do that. Yeah, though.
It's still embarrassing.
It's yeah, no A, just another E and 1 L, and you're good. I'm actually surprised your spell checker didn't catch that.
Wasn't done in Word, that section. I was doing that in Clip Studio Paint. When I made the credit sequence, because it's just a PNG.
Okay, I gotcha.
Figuring out, like, I could have dicked around with learning how to do screens, putting text in a certain place, but I was just trying to get this thing in a viable condition.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm guessing that in the upstairs closet there's another scare of some sort.
Yeah.
And
There's like how far you get into any particular scare depends on your attributes. The sink, I don't. Sink was like the last ones I did, so it was getting that one got a little bit rushed versus the some of the basement events have more care in them because I had more time, or it was earlier in the development cycle and I wasn't hacking my scope apart with an axe.
Yeah. Right.
But there's like technically speaking, there's 7 endings, depending on which scare is your final scare. Because I put different styles of dialogue and the character's mental state was different. It originally planned on the character having a lot better pacing for how quickly they react to horror, but again, I didn't have any. I didn't have much in the way of playtesting, and it's kind of hard to test something like that when the big twist is the ghost is friendly,
Right.
and you can't die in it. Like that's why it's one of the reasons why it's anti-horror. You cannot die in this visual novel. There are no bad ends.
So all the endings ultimately lead to you discovering that there's a friendly ghost.
Yeah, like the kitchen scene where she's got the ice cream. That is like it's always the same, but her initial reaction to your character's lack of reaction is different each time. Like the basement one with the severed head is she's more exacerbated. Also, each different horrors have different strengths of fear, and your character after every encounter builds up resistance based on how much fear they accumulate. So the harder the scares you run into earlier, the faster you can complete the story.
So I'm guessing then if I had headed to the basement and looked in the tub first, that would have been a big one.
Yeah, I believe you can raise it more if you also check the head before you take the sack. Because checking the head, she doesn't activate. And again, earlier in the development cycle where I thought I could put multiple little things to do and not, oh my god, I gotta just get these major events done, otherwise I'm not going to have time to add anything else. So, yeah, so there's some endings where her head isn't off. That's something she can do on her own, though.
Oh yeah, I would have to think so.
So,
yes,
there's
I
a
see.
little...
I do see though that the usage of the fairy construct of physical space and metaphysical space where they live that can overlap. I see you made use of that. That's a good call.
Yeah. Oh, it uses my world build. So there's crossroads are important. People get spirited away. The physical space is separate from like the fairy world is separate from the physical world. I don't get into I purposely cut myself off with the lore. Just reason why your character just says that's another time.
Mm-hmm.
So this got 14th out of 210 on the user reviews, but it didn't place at all as far as the judges were concerned. Actually, the funny thing is for the Spooktober Game Jam, a lot of the ones I thought for sure would be like placing top didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. In the jam, I can tell you which ones. Do you want me to post a link?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to post a link to the Spooktober Game Jam. I'm going to put it right into the chat.
Yep. You can feel free to link that in the Discord too, if you didn't already.
Oh, it's if you already got the link, so that's how you got the visual novel.
Oh, right.
And the results aren't posted. For the judging results aren't actually posted on the website. And if you look into the jam results, you have to pull up the jam's Discord here. So the first place was a game called Model Employee, which is corporate dystopia style horror, and I thought that hits too close to home. The second place was the final prize is Soup, which I've heard is quite a long one. And the third place was a game called Replaced, and I think it's like you're the Grim Reaper, but also a detective.
Uh-huh.
Now, the ones I thought for sure would be like Long Time No See, I thought was a shoe-in, and it was an honorable mention, but it didn't place. Now, one of the voice actors for that one did get a prize.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he won. Not Milo, was David Oliver from the Long Time No See.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can see. Oh wait, you can't. If you join the Spooktober Discord, you can see the judging results, and they did post it on Twitch. But if you go just to the game jam itself, it'll just show the user reviews. Which again, the top one for the user reviews was something called Dream In Dream Out, and that one also didn't place. So it's really quite different between the judging and the user reviews.
Yeah.
So you can let me know what you think. You can be like, I know it's rough in places.
I mean, it's good. It's, you've got the beginning of something that's really quality. Obviously, you mentioned it. There's some areas you can refine. That's definitely clear. But I like it for what it is. It subverts expectations, and I always appreciate that.
I haven't
But
decided
yeah,
if I want to try and repolish House and Hellworld to get the pacing better, maybe actually making your attributes a little more visible. Because I was leaving again, I did not have time to put the user interface that would let them see their status. And it was also, I could have added the ability to track the cache and show possible debt situations of why the character is desperate.
mm-hmm.
But it's mostly they've just. Well, someone described it as like, this is what happens when you have no fucks left to give. And the main theme it was just basically real life is scarier than a haunted house.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's certainly the case.
I don't know where rent is in other places, but I know it can easily surpass $1,000 over here, where I am.
Yeah, I mean, my house payment was $800 a month.
And I know there are places that have rent over 1,000 and they're shitholes. So this is where I put in, and depending on where you live and what you're used to, you may think, "Geez, dude, how bad is your rent?" And
Well,
the answer is depends where you are.
and I think I get the impression of this character basically working a low wage clerk's level job.
Yeah, I kept that one fairly vague as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah, the places that I'd be looking for, potentially going into, once I can get employed again, are probably close to the 4-digit range because of where I am currently living.
And the character also has student debt, which you only discover if you listen to the radio and choose to listen to the business report instead. The listening to the horror report actually slightly reduces your fear resistance and increases your horror level. So it sort of weakens you more, but it's for a bigger term gain afterwards.
That's a Texas.
And again, that's something I would like to actually have done, is have your attributes a little more visible. And the character is meant to be of no specific gender, which is why I make Yuri do the comment how she calls everyone dude, regardless of what their gender is. If they're mortal, they're a dude. So I wouldn't. So again, I'm not sure if I want to do try to work on a sequel or try to flesh out House and Hellworld. And the sequel would have had you making friends with ghosts on behalf of the Grim Reaper.
Which there's a concept.
Yeah, it would still be anti-horror, but the reason why I say it's anti-horror is, again, your character is still the one who can't be hurt, even though they are witnessing horrific things. Like one concept, like in House and Hellworld, none of that stuff's real. And I originally had planned it so if your fear resistance got high enough, you would start be able to poke things. And there's a remnant of it in the basement. If you see the head in the tub, if your fear resistance is high enough, you can poke the head.
Huh.
And it's more to show that your character really is disconnecting with reality. I also had originally planned on making it so the store would start to look creepier, and your apartment would look creepier over time, and the house would start to look better.
Right.
And that was just supposed to be more characters' mental reflection. But again, since I had to do my own bloody backgrounds, it took forever, and I figured that's just a nice extra. So
yeah.
As well. But the alternative is that you would meet other ghosts, and another one would have heads in its fridge. Except they're not there to freak out anyone. They're literally just storing heads in a fridge. And your character would have to deal with that. And again, they're not threatening you. The idea in the sequel is that you're under Yuri's protection, so you're safe. But that doesn't mean, when you're getting to know some of these monsters, that they do creepy things, some of them.
Gotcha.
And that would be the anti-horror element.
Well, all right though. That was pretty good time though. If you do decide to tune it up, I'd like to see it. And we'll play it again.
So you think be better off to do redo the original before doing a sequel?
I think so, because you can. There's a lot. There's room that you can work with, and stuff that you can then plant to build into a sequel, and it will flow better.
Okay.
Because that's what you definitely want. Is you want seamless flow from one to the next.
Yeah, the idea I was planning on doing for the sequels is not making them full games, but making sort of introductions and seeing which one had the best reaction. To basically create multiple ghosts, and each ghost would be a separate visual novel to download and run through, and then after I get the basics of doing some of the mechanics, try to do something bigger with all the cast together. Because I think the original, one of the original prototypes for this, the ghosts knew each other and would have different relationships on top of everything else. And again, way beyond the scope for House. But it was something I would like to include in the sequel.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for coming in. Definitely. Right about the right time to do it.
Yeah, well, right now I'm a little low energy, so.
Yeah. But, well, I'm going to move ahead with my